listening me patiently. And now the next presentation is from Amritesh Chan Shukla. So let me first unmute him. And he is the professor in botany department of our university. To see what he has to say. Um, so Amritesh, Professor Shukla, you are
Yes.
there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
ma'am.
you please share your screen? Yeah. So welcome to this e-symposium. Okay. So could you please share your screen? Yeah. Amritesh is one of the most active researcher of our university with many patents, large number of publications. He has published many books also in the area of pharmaceutical technology and all these things. Maybe briefly you introduce yourself and then you move ahead with your presentation, Amritesh. That will be the best. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. And a very good morning to all my overseas colleagues and good evening to my Indian partners. First of all, I would like to thanks to the organizer for organizing such a nice symposium on the pharmaceutical issues and giving me the opportunity to discuss some of the findings related to the plant sciences. So basically, I am Professor Shukla, as Madam introduced. So I'm working on natural products, basically from plant-based origin, and its bioefficacy through different actions, different angles, as well as different mechanisms up to the patenting. So in that series, you can see the topic of my today's lecture is tradition to technology, an approach for developing pharmaceutical drugs. So this was basically my abstract, what I have submitted. Maybe you will get it later or sooner through the e-forms. So, and here, as you can see, I have highlighted some important points like in vitro investigation, in silico investigations, wet lab investigations, clinical trials, multi-locational trials, as well as pharmaceutical issues. So in this findings, I would like to discuss all those, means how we can explore, how we can unravel, how we can uh, investigate different plants as well as their efficacy. So with this slide, you can see how the plants, they are important. Like you can see for different purposes, skin infections, like these are the list of some of the diseases, and here you can see these are different percentage of these plants, medicinal plants, basically what we are using for the protection of different diseases. In nutshell, first I would like to give you some of the basics, like what are the pharmaceutical drugs. Basically, certain diseases are the pathogens which can be categorized into maybe fungi, bacteria, viruses. So basically, since I am a mycologist, I am working on the fungal parts, fungal issues. So I will brief here you about the fungus as well as its diseases and its management by using some of the medicinal plants as well as the products that can be used for the protection of these diseases. This is the summary of the work plan. Here you can see some of the name of the traditional medicinal plants like Trichosperma. In general, we can say it as ajwain, what we as commonly use in our daily routine. Cymbopogon fluctuations, that is another medicinal plant. It is also known as lemongrass, and this is Mentha arvensis, and this is the basilicum. So like that, a number of medicinal plants what we are commonly use at our daily routine. So we have targeted some of them, and then we have gone through certain, you can say, in vitro studies, bioactivity test, maybe in the form of volatile, in the form of non-volatile, then in silico investigations, followed by wet lab investigations, clinical trials, and at the end, leading to the technology transfer, or you can say the pharmaceutical product. This here you can see, I have selected these two plants. The one is Cymbopogon flexuosus and the another is Trichosperma. And this is the instrument, Clevenger apparatus. Basically, by using this Clevenger apparatus, we have distilled the essential oil. These are, you can see, these are the essential oils distilled from this particular Clevenger apparatus, and we have used this for this current study. Before going to that, we have gone through different physicochemical properties. These are the parameters where you can see the appearance, odor, boiling point, specific gravity, optical rotation, effective index, solubility in water. And along with those essential oil, we have also gone through their active constituents. So these are the name of their active constituent like citral and geraniol. These are some of the active constituents in case of Cymbopogon flexuosus. Our thymol, pyrazimine, and alpha-pinene, these are the active constituents from the Trachyspermii. So we have gone through all those physicochemical properties of those active constituents as well as the essential oil. And then we have gone with their GCMS. So here you can see the gas chromatogram and citral and geraniol. You can see the citral as well as the geraniol. These were two most, you can say, dominant, or you can say the highest peak what we have observed. Similarly, in case of Trachyspermii, thymol, alpha-pinene, and pyrazimine, these were the active constituents that we have recorded during the GCMS. Now, based on those characteristics, we have investigated them in detail under in vitro conditions where we have explored their minimum effective concentration, nature of toxicity, minimum killing time, inoculum density, range of spectrum, effect of pH, effect of thermostability, effect of autoclaving, effect of shelf life, comparison with some synthetics, and maximum irritant concentration. So these are some of the important points which we have investigated under in vitro investigations. And based on these findings, then we have gone for the another level. The protocols what we have studied during this in vitro investigations was NCCLS. This is one of the most clinically relevant and reproducible standard testing microbial cell antimicrobial techniques. It usually used in modern, rapid, automated, and also it is an economical quantitative antimicrobial testing methods where we generally use the 96 well micro titer culture plates. This is the protocol. Here you can see these are different wells. So the concentration, what basically we put it here, it goes to the serial dilution and it comes to the, here it is the maximum concentration followed by, you can say, serial diluted, and this is the lowest concentration. So this is the format where we usually do these antimicrobial efficacy, or you can say the testing of these plant products against the pathogen. This is the standard protocols, what you can see, and it is also available at the NCCLS website. These are different stock solutions that we have also prepared before conducting the antimicrobial efficacy. These are different, you can say, concentrations, 1 mg, 10 mg, 20 mg, 30 mg, 40 mg, and 50 mg. And concentration, where we will dilute serially, then you can see the concentration is going to be diluted 50, 25, 12.5 like that. It is coming, and at the 11th well, it will be reaching to the lowest one. Similarly, there are different gradings. Now, this is the, as I said, I'm doing basically on the fungal pathogen. So this is one of example what we have took with this essential oil. And here you can see these are different concentrations at different wells, and then we have observed its MIC, IC50 as well as minimum fungicidal concentration. So the concentration, you can say minimum inventory concentration what we have recorded is 0.83%. So after that, you can see the in between very close to this much, 0.83, somehow very close to this much. So this was, if it is more than 85%, then it is supposed to be the inhibitory concentration. So in that way, we have recorded that yes, it is 0.083, and their minimum fungicidal concentration was recorded at this much level. Similarly, in case of Cymbopogon flexuosus, again the pathogen is same, and then here we have recorded that the minimum inhibitory concentration was 0.202. However, the minimum fungicidal concentration was 0.5%. This is one of the active constituents of Cymbopogon flexuosus, citral. Here you can see the MIC was recorded 0.127. However, the MFC was again, it is 0.5. So based on this finding, then as we have seen, We have gone through a range of spectrum. We have gone through the inoculum density, minimum killing time, and pH, effect of pH, and all those. Then we come with those findings, and we have investigated what is the mechanism of action, how it usually kill that particular pathogen. So for that, there were different routes. So these are some of the 7 important routes, starting from the cellular components up to the DNA level. So we have investigated on all those parameters. And before going to the wet lab, we have got it into the in silico conditions, or you can say the dry lab. Here, if you will see, we have the legends like citral, geraniol. These are the active constituent what we have isolated from the Cymbopogon flexuosus. However, thymol, alpha-pinene, and parathymine, these are the active constituent what we have isolated from the Trichosperma amai. And the protein of the fungus, maybe you can take number of fungus, whatever you have targeted for the study, and you can test all these things. This, the working procedure where we have gone through the lesion protein interaction. Lesion, basically we have those chemical constituents, or you can say the active constituents, and the organism proteins. We have make the docking between these two, and we have recorded certain 3D structures where the lesion protein actions how. So one by one here you can see the citral with the proteins of the Aspergillus flavus, and these are, you can say, the electrostatic interactions of the citral with the protein of these particular organisms. Similarly, in case of geraniol, you can also see how they are interacting with this hydrogen bonding, and that again the organism is Aspergillus flavus. Similarly, in case of the another active constituent, alpha-pinene, from Trichosperma amai, and you can see the way how they are interacting together, binding with the protein of this Aspergillus. And this is, you can say, the electrostatic interactions with the protein of this particular organism Aspergillus and alpha-pinene. Similarly, parathymine also, since we have total 5 active constituents we have investigated in this study. So these are different electrostatic interactions of these active constituents with this particular organisms, Aspergillus. So the findings what we have recorded under in silico investigation, then we have confirmed it under wet lab investigations, where we have found that it was totally same what we have recorded under in silico conditions. But for that, basically, we required the endpoints, the dose and response, the LD50, and you can say the toxicity. So with this, we have tested the active constituents up to the genomic level, where we have extracted the DNA of the particular pathogens, as we have taken Aspergillus flavus and Penicillium italicum in this particular study. So we have extracted, this is AccuPrep kit. By using this particular kit, we have extracted the genomic DNA of these pathogens, and then we have tested it against these active constituents. For that, we can put different components, and if you'll see for different loading and unloading samples, you can see 25 microliter reaction volume, 50 microliter. So based on our requirement, we can put the amount of these variable components, and then we can start. So in my case, basically it was 25 microliter for amplification of one reaction, and these were the compositions for that. 15 microliter of the composite form of these three, however 10 microliter of the fungal DNA, then we have total 25 microliter for amplification of the DNA reaction using PCR. And these were the primers and probes what we have used. And then you can see the amount of DNA, how it is going to, you can say, increase at different cycles. Per cycle, the number of the DNA is going to be increased. Now, when we have observed the DNA bands, then we have recorded, this is the control set. Here it is citral, geraniol, thymol, alpha-pinene, and parathymine. So in case of citral, you can see there is no any band. However, the similar report we have also recorded in case of thymol. So these are two important active constituents as compared to geraniol, parathymine, and alpha-pinene, which is a little bit lesser than these two active constituents. So with these two informations, then we have got the data, and based on these informations, then we have developed certain formulations, and that formulations we have also checked what is the maximum irritant activity, because sometimes these are the constituents, they have certain irritant activity also. So we have checked that range also, and then that was analyzed with the help of this patch test method. So on that basis, then we have developed certain formulations, maybe in the form of ointment, lotions, and creams. Basically, this is for the topical testing, and then we have tested it at different phases. So there are different phases for doing this clinical trials. So that was conducted at Motilal Nehru Medical College, Allahabad, with the help of pharmacology department. And then the findings what we have observed, that we have got it patented. So you can see this is the United States patent, one US patent, UK patent, Japanese patent, and Indian patent. So with this, you can say any following these procedures, any traditionally using medicinal plants and its products or biomolecules can be explored as an antimicrobial agent, as well as can be used for developing formulations. Further, the developed formulations can be used for clinical trials before transferring the technology to the pharmaceutical companies. Or maybe you can also go for patent. Further reference, you can see protocols in medicinal aromatic plant. This is one of my book, what we have published in 2016. Advances in medicinal aromatic plant, and more recently, advances in pharmaceutical biotechnology. This is 2020. With this ISBN, we have just, you can say it is released from the Springer. So if someone is willing to much more detail about the procedures and protocols, maybe you can go with these references. And with this word, I would like to thanks to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Shukla. I am just looking in the box.
Yeah.
They are commenting that a very nice presentation, maybe very nice. Are there some questions? If there are some questions, please put these questions in the box. Okay. It is all very nice presentation. That is the comment in the box. Xavier has some question. I will unmute him. Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, Xavier.
Congratulations, Dr. Amory. It's a very nice presentation. Indeed, that's a very good work. Indeed, India and Brazil have a lot in common concerning natural products for using in pharmaceutical. That very big points together. We have, I don't know, more than half the biodiversity of the world together. That's a big point. However, I saw in your talk that you just use it, the natural products for biological meaning. Use it the natural products.
Yes.
My question is more like a legal one. In your country, you can patent the natural products.
No, if we will apply.
Because here is not allowed. Not allowed to patent the biological biological product. That's a big discussion here in the natural product area. Because I know that in other countries they can do that, and so it's a very unfair fight between our countries and others, that they check the natural products and they transform in other countries and patent that in other countries, even when they are from Brazil or whatever?
No, no, sir.
Is your case?
No, in India also we cannot get the patent on the natural product until unless we will do some of the science over that. We have to put some of the science, we have to do some of the novelty, we have to apply. As such, we cannot get the patent. So in this case also, as you can see, we have extracted the essential oil, then we have identified the active constituents, then we have procured it from some, you can say, Sigma Aldrich and also Merck. And then we have done the details, their investigations against those particular pathogens. And the formulations what we have developed, that we have got patented. So we have not patented as such the particular natural product.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Thanks.
So, any other questions? So I would like to thank Professor Shukla for very, very nice and thought-provoking presentation. Okay, now also we came to know about the patenting of the natural product.
Yeah, sure.
Then you clarify it is a process. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe your ideas will give some guidelines for patenting in the Lucknow University itself. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Shukla.
Okay.
So now we have next.